Assalamu alaikum. Today is the 2nd April, and the issues which are apparently very disaster these days is the rising population of the Pakistan. When any one of us just observe that the rising population of the individuals in the towns, they become what ought not to be become by themselves in the public sector. The questions of the observations of obstruction lines of the economy and the stabilizing the economy and the issues of the natural disasters and so many other reciprocating areas of working under the employment agreements, the medical practitioner rules. Now we have to observe the Article 184, Clause 3. In the cases of the medical negligence, if an individual is suffering from the cause of action accrued through the medical hospitals, there would be any point of intellectuals to restore the same medical declined prepositions or not. If so, under which circumstances such elements would be complementary to the said individuals in the uh, infectious behavior to be demolished in its fullest uh, approved areas of scientific transitional sort of area. We have to observe these factors that the transparent observations of the medical practitioner rules in the Pakistan. When I observe the transplantations of the Organs Act 2010, thereafter it could be accrued easily that the Republicans and the groups of the Republicans, there is no federal law which is implemented an agreement, likewise the MMEOU, the Medical Memorandum of Understandings between the medical associations like YBA and YCA and to the other medical doctors to the self-prescribed areas of the uh, legal fraternity as well. So when we have a dispute among the institutions, there is no memorandum of understanding, and the deceased person in the hospital suffering from the lack of tissues, and there is a blood donor and donor issues in the Pakistan. When I observe that, then due to raising the populations, the blood donor and the equipment of the blood donors, these both differs a lot. When we just have the very keen eyes to restore or observe the issues of the blood transparent or transplantations to the humans, thereafter the blood groups could not be matched easily. And if we just restore it through having the antecedent or descendant bloods, thereafter the so many other issues would be the humanitarian negligence would be procured in the upcoming issues of the hospitalization as well. In the Middle East and especially in the Pakistan, as per my observations regarding the medical negligence cases, while the Article 184 and Article 199, it could be procured that the amounts of the detentions of the intellectual or medical science areas of practicing the medical students would be procured for the better informative methods of the intellectuals as well as the understandings of the refined groups of the institutions within the nexus of Lahore city, especially for the well-groomed areas of the phenomenal sort of humanitarian areas of living or executing to their task-based solutions or task-based home jobs. On the one side, when we just observe that the doctors prescribe that there is a medical failure of the humans to observe their own tissues transplantations in due time. The second issue is that the humans are not in the positions to observe the humans or organs failures within the pretext of the time durations prescribed by the Allah Almighty to them, and if they are in the act of God. This category remarkably refer to the judicial reform unit, that the act of God and the natural justice. When we just connect, study the observation of the intellectual understandings that the humans are suffering miserable situations due to their own refrain to the humanity, that would not be amounted to be nullified question. The question resists here that if the humans are suffering, therefore the intellectual science transactions and the part and parcels of the humanitarian observations always fall in the negligence of the human deceased parameters of existing laws. This would be a point of intellectual, scientific approved transitional area of living as well. Then I have heard that a lot of the cases of the medical negligence in the small and medium groups of the government hospitals always come forward in the public lanes that those hospitals always procured an amount of the infants, and after procuring the amount of the infants, some of them have are suffering from a lot of the capacitated issues. They don't have the sufficient funds to originate the devices which are in the pretext of the procurement of the child protection unit in the said institution or in the said information prescribed by the same. We have to reserve a point of controversial scientific controversial mediums of existence that the failures on the part and parcels of the society, civil society, and the Muslim society, and the Punjab medical sciences groups informations that the humans are suffering due to the lack of funds within their homes as well. In the Punjab regional sectors and in the Punjab sectarian sectors, we have developed a habit of construction, the habit of observing the humanitarian negligence cases, void the Article 199 of the Constitution. On the contrast, when we just drive a judgment in the narrations of the scientific approved known transitional areas, thereafter it comes before us that the Republicans of the Middle East are not in the habit of observing the medical sciences as well. When we drew the both sectors, likewise the medical sciences as well as the controversial points of the laws, therefore the extracting point would become a judgment in the declined areas of having no point of the focal person as well to decide the matter in the merits or out of the box. These are the questions we should have been observed by the scientific proved areas of the modern centuries for the reformative methods. The medical practitioners are suffering a lot. We respect their services. On the contrast, if the Republicans are suffering out of the necessitated thoughts of their die-hard earning incomes, and the expenses of the medical sciences in the Pakistan is the huge uh, expense that you cannot devote or you cannot expect it to be done on your shoulder. And the areas of the medical practitioners and the areas of the medical areas of not having the point of proper baseline solutions to the humanity. These are some baseline questions for the hospitals to be done in time. Much regards, the advanced comparative constitutional advocate Gulraiz Ashfaq.